First of all, you need to know that this is a She-Ra stan account. I've watched the show 3 times already, probably going to watch it even more for these videos. In this video series, I'm going to talk about the different ways the show explores the idea of family, both biological and created. This specific video is going to tackle Glimmer and her family. Glimmer goes through a whole arc with her family throughout the show. First, it's just her and her mom, then we get a brief glimpse of the entire happy family, and finally, she's with her dad. Of course, Castaspella, everyone's favorite lesbian aunt, I will not take any criticism on this, is there for the entire ride.
Well, if your mother believes, then who am I not to? She's an angelic being after all. I'm just a common sorceress.
Ugh, please, not this again.
She never writes to me, you know. I send letters, but do I ever get a reply?
We're first introduced to Angella and Glimmer's dynamic as one that is stuck between that of Commander Queen and Mother-Daughter.
Mom, Your Majesty.
This is the pretty cliche relationship of the rebellious teen and overbearing mom, further complicated by Angella's literal power over Glimmer as the queen. Glimmer, being the brave and stubborn girl that she is, feels stifled by the authority her mom holds. This underlies a lot of the conflict between them. Angella can try to mother Glimmer, and, when all else fails, she can pull the queen card.
Yikes, she's playing the queen card.
Despite this struggle for independence and respect on Glimmer's end, they obviously love each other, and Angella cares deeply for Glimmer's safety.
And disobedient. Glimmer.
And Angella trusts Glimmer while still positioning herself as firmly within her guardian role, as seen when she gives Adora the shovel talk.
And because I greatly love my daughter, I am willing to give you a chance. Do not disappoint her.
We see Angella really struggle with her dual roles as queen and mother when Bo and Glimmer are captured by the Horde.
And now, I'm faced with an impossible decision. As leader of the rebellion, how can I surrender myself to our enemy? And yet, as a mother, how do I...
This scene opens with Angella in isolation, a state familiar to her after Micah's death, and also a glimpse into what life would be if she left Glimmer to the Horde. The weight of the choice between her duty as leader of the rebellion and mother to Glimmer weighs on Angella. She's able to vocalize the option of surrendering herself to the Horde, but she can't even bring herself to say that she might have to abandon Glimmer. That's because she always knows what she'll choose. She will always give up herself for her daughter. She sits alone in the war room, preparing for her sacrifice. Then, Glimmer, ignorant about the sacrifice her mother was willing to make, distances herself further from her mother. She doesn't want to admit failure, but Angella just wants to spend time with her daughter that she was prepared to never see again.
Do not walk away from me! I just wanted to talk.
I'm sorry I couldn't be perfect like you. You have no idea what it feels like to be such a screw-up.
I don't know how you feel. I got your father killed! I ordered the battle your father perished in. I've never forgiven myself.
I didn't know that.
Yes, well, you never talked to me. Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
Because I was ashamed. I acted without thinking, the exact thing you're always telling me not to do. I teleported right into their trap. The alliance is over, and I'm to blame.
Oh, Glimmer, I'm the one who failed. If I hadn't let the First Alliance fall apart after your father's death, none of this would be happening.
You feel like a failure?
Don't make the same mistake I did. I should have kept fighting, and you should too.
But the other princesses, they all quit. You don't think the rebellion is done?
With my daughter leading it? Not a chance.
Even if my powers are gone?
We'll figure it out together.
This scene is so beautiful. Glimmer and Angella are finally seeing each other. Glimmer thought her mother was perfect, always judging, while Angella could only think of Glimmer as a stubborn teen. In opening up, they can see each other as fuller people. This is a huge step in their relationship. In this moment, Queen and Commander don't matter. They're just mother and daughter. Both of them carry a lot of pain. Angella's guilt over her perception that her order sent her husband to his death traps her, and she tries to extend that cage of safety to her daughter. Angella tries her best. I think we can all see that. But the personal boundaries Angella has set to be the perfect queen and mother has distanced her from Glimmer. Angella is an angelic being. That would already be hard to have as a mom, but then she also hides her weaknesses so consistently that Glimmer feels wildly inadequate and different from her mom. That's obviously not Angella's goal, but it is the result of her actions. Please, get everyone on Etheria therapy. I beg. Glimmer, on the other hand, doesn't really take the time to see her mom as a person. She's stuck in that teenage mindset that I, myself, and at times guilty of. Very much, I'm the main character. She avoids and lies and ignores, but she's young. She doesn't know until this scene that she's more like her mom than she ever thought.
I can't just stand by while my friends in my home are in danger. I have to do this.
I know.
Mom, wait, what?
I've been trying all these years to mold you into someone more like me, but you're too stubborn and hot-headed and brave, like your father. This was your father's staff. I think it's time you had it.
Here we see that Angella really took their earlier conversation to heart. Parents can tend to try to mold you into just a younger version of themselves. Angella wanted Glimmer to be cautious, but she's realizing that Micah is just as much a part of Glimmer. Angella loved Micah, in spite of and maybe because of his braveness. Earlier in the show, Angella tried to erase the parts of Glimmer that most reminded Angella of Micah. It wasn't out of malice or ill intent. Angella just wanted Glimmer to stay alive. Now, she has to let her daughter express traits that remind her of her late husband. She chooses not to let her grief consume her daughter.
What's the point? You'll always be around, telling me what I can't do.
Those of us close to our mothers, we tend to immortalize them. Who wants to imagine their mom dying? But for Glimmer, her mom dying was never something she had to even consider. Angella is immortal. Glimmer should have never seen her mother die. That's why she wasn't expecting her mom to be anything but on the other side of the portal, ready to fuss and ground her. Angella was always aware of the mortality of her loved ones. That's why she was so overprotective. She had lost Micah, and she wanted to prolong having to witness another familial death as long as possible. It was her burden to bear. But then it was forced onto Glimmer.
Speaking of which, I guess I should go find my mom. Maybe she'll be so happy to see me that she'll forget about grounding me. Adora? What is it?
Angella. She stayed behind. She saved us.
Going back in time just a little bit, right before Angella sacrificed herself, we see what might have been. Had Micah not died, or as we now know, been sent to Beast Island, had Angella not trapped herself inside the portal, this was the family life awaiting them after they defeated the Horde. Glimmer and Angella are just having fun. No fights about rebellion plans or animosity and distance, just a mother and daughter playing with each other and enjoying the other's company. Both of them look happier and lighter than we've ever seen them. Then we see King Micah. Glimmer is so excited to see him, and they also play together. Glimmer has always been a mix of adult and child. She's immature and self-centered, but she's also a commander in a war and has experienced grief and loss. In the Portal reality, we get to see Glimmer be a full child. She's allowed to just have fun and be a kid. Her parents get to be parents. And we can also tell that Angella and Micah are really in love. It makes what's to come even more tragic. There's a quiet tragedy in this scene. Angella has so much trouble realizing that this life that she's living is nothing more than a fantasy. The shock and hurt in her eyes when she realizes is heartbreaking. She loses her loved ones again, Micah to death and Glimmer to Shadow Weaver, and then Glimmer again as she disappears with Adora and Bo. Right then, she's already saying goodbye to Micah. So Angella leaves Micah. In her mind, the Micah that she loves is lost, but Glimmer is still there. She has to live her life for Glimmer, and not stay in a dream for someone she has already mourned.
Take care of each other.
So obviously Glimmer was super traumatized by her mother's death / being trapped in the decaying alternate universe. It leads her to not recharge her powers and have the worst lead up to a coronation ever. Then she kind of gets her groove back, but takes some of Angella's worst qualities as queen, which leads to her having to wait for a little over a season to meet her dad for the first time since his supposed death. Let's look at Micah. His time on Beast Island really made him... weird may be an understatement, but he still loves and cares for his family. When he got exiled by the Horde, Glimmer was little, so that's how she stayed in his mind despite the years that have passed since then. He really loves and misses Glimmer. He's an actual girl dad. You can see it in his eyes and hear it in his voice. He loves his daughter. But then he gets his heart ripped out of his chest when Adora mistakenly implies that Angella is dead. He was isolated for years, with only the memory of his family and the hope that he'd be able to leave one day and reunite with them. That dream being shattered almost broke him. But of course, he gets over it because this is a children's cartoon and we need happy endings. Then, in Season 5, we see Micah trying to prepare to see his daughter. Frosta is the closest in age to what Glimmer was when he got stuck on Beast Island, so Micah tries to practice his dad's skills on her, to initially poor results. Micah's mistake is that he wants to treat Frosta like a literal child, but she's been fighting a war. She's still young, yes, but she's lived life more than a regular kid her age. When he appeals to Frosta's strength, he's able to foster a relationship with her, and he's that much more ready to be there for his daughter.
Sorry for calling you an old man. Glimmer's really lucky to have you as a dad.
Really? You think so?
Yes, but you really gotta stop trying so hard.
But of course, nothing can be easy, and Micah is chipped. When Glimmer is finally able to see her dad, she can't even look into his eyes without seeing the green glow of Horde Prime's control. Then Glimmer has to fight her dad. Glimmer is pleading with her dad to snap out of it while he insults her, targeting her deepest insecurities. But she remembers Angella, remembers her message before her coronation, and she finds the strength to get back up and stop Micah from hurting anyone else.
My mother raised me to be brave. My friends taught me to be kind. And I'm stubborn. I get that from you. I will never stop fighting. And I won't lose another parent!
Then they defeat Horde Prime and everyone is unchipped. Glimmer and Micah finally get to reunite. Micah's a little awkward, but he's trying, and Glimmer is just happy to see her dad. Okay, my final thoughts on this representation of family. I was raised by a single mom most of my life, and I saw a lot of myself in Glimmer. I simultaneously grew up too fast and stayed immature. Glimmer matured quickly because she lost her dad and she was fighting a war. I grew up quickly because I didn't want to be a burden on my mom. Two sides of the same coin. I also didn't really see my mom as her own person, and it was really heartwarming to see Glimmer go through the same realization as me. Parents are human, which includes all the flaws that humanity entails. For Glimmer and I, realizing that our single moms are people with feelings just like us lets us become closer to them. That's the lesson that us as children learn. Angella and Micah learn how to be good parents. Angella learns to be more open and honest with Glimmer. She has to trust that her daughter is smart and capable enough to handle the truth and make her own decisions. Angella has to let Glimmer in, and as soon as that happens, they get closer. Micah learns a similar lesson, to keep in mind that children can be strong and don't need to be babied. Of course, love and softness are needed, but children can handle more than we often give them credit for. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. I have a lot of ideas for videos in the future. Of course, I'll finish this series, which will feature Beau and his dad's next. My socials are in the description box below. Thanks!